Sidekicks, and broadcasting live from the Southern Oregon University Digital Media Center and the RVTV studio. It's the So Not So Late Night Glamour Dave show, and recorded before a non-existent studio audience with a skeletal crew of certified public access producers. You can expect to see tonight's guests, whoever they may be, the Glamour Dave Comedy Players, and the Rogue Valley Public Access Orchestra. Now, here's your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow.
All righty, Rogue Valley, we're back to the So Not So Late Night Glamour Dave show. I'm your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow, and with us right now tonight is Victoria Sofitel. Am I saying your name correctly?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So Victoria is my first comedian to appear on the show. So she's here to do our first stand-up comedy routine on the show. So Victoria, thank you for appearing on the show.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
So
happy to be with your people.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome me. So yeah, I met Dave at the farmers markets, the very last day of the Rogue Valley Growers Markets, which just opened this week. Did you know? And I have a business there, and so there's some funny things that you tend to notice when you stand in one place and you're not able to move because your livelihood depends on it for a good 5 to 6 hour period. There's things that you notice. So like one of the things that I notice at my gluten-free, egg-free, dairy-free, soy-free, 100% organic, baked fresh before every market business, yes, bakery. What I notice at my booth is I never get the like Oregon man hitting on me, I get the guy who, if he eats a defenseless grain, is gonna die on me. That's who I get. I get the feeble vegan who's, asking me out. So I don't know what that says about me personally, but yeah, it's sort of interesting to have to navigate. And it's actually easier to navigate these days because in that department, I'm doing really, really well. I'm in a relationship. We just celebrated our first year. Can I get an applause?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, first time in like ever, maybe. So yeah, that's exciting. We've been talking about moving in together, which is like, yeah, I know, moving fast. But you know what? We're older, we're pushing 40. We're not wasting any more time. And so I'm afraid, because, one more thing about me is I'm part Colombian and I'm a single mother. So that means I'm also part crazy. And it's, at least by like Western standards, if you live in a Latino country, I'm quite a catch. But yeah, a little bit of a culture shock dating me. So it's going so well. I'm afraid, I'm afraid I'm going to mess it all up by doing this little thing I like to call the Easter egg hunt of terror. And that's where I go down to my local Planned Parenthood here off Siskiyou Boulevard, just right up the road, and ask them for all their used pregnancy tests, which is exactly what you think it would be. That is, in fact, a used pee stick. And then I would sort of hide them around the house. And so when he happened upon one, it's like, oh, we're going to have this conversation, because it's like you never know what someone's really made out of unless you think it's going to last forever. And so I need to know, how compassionately can you communicate to me, we are not having this child? How can you empower me to press the eject button on this fictitious child that does not exist for the sake of this joke? Who are you really? What are you made out of, dear? And it's like a foolproof plan when you think about it. Like, I am never gonna get caught because I'm just one fake slip down a flight of stairs and it's like that fake pregnancy never happened. So really, and I get to see what he's made out of, and we can move on from there. That one usually gets a pretty big applause, so I think it's actually, people think it's a sound plan. Thank you.
All right, Victoria. Well, come on, sit down. And yeah. So this is your mic, so you can just attach that, and yeah, this is lowbrow public access comedy. So we don't have like wireless mics for everyone.
Microphone's up towards your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm good at projecting.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm like really good at projecting.
Well, yeah, because you're doing like live comedy, in the local clubs, right? You're managing the Road Comedy Underground, is what I understand, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely one of the coordinators.
Yeah.
Although they're the two founding fathers.
Yeah.
We have Ben Abbin and Matty J.
Yeah. And I've liked your page on Facebook, so I see all the club dates that come up, right?
Thank you.
And I've been able to make it to one. A few weeks ago, I made it to one at Morton's.
Yeah, that was
right?
a good one.
Yeah, and so yeah.
Was that the one with the heckler?
I think so. Yes.
The really bad heckler?
Yes. Yeah.
What kind of heckling?
Man, did they handled that. They handled that so well. And then he wrote us all night long on the Facebook page.
Oh, geez.
He sent us messages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All night long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He kept interrupting. He kept thinking he was funnier than and ironically, the comedian on stage was like last comic standing champion.
Wow.
Yeah, like touring comic for 17 years. Pretty phenomenal.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Background.
no,
He
yeah.
runs the Chadwick show every
Okay.
Friday and Saturday night.
Very cool.
Yeah, because that was the first time I had seen him. So and he was like really impressive. He had just a smooth routine, and I was like, oh, this is there's some good comedy talent around here. So
I'm pretty pleased. I'd say if we were grades, I'm maybe a B. I think I'm a solid B. And there's room to grow.
Yeah,
there's
right.
totally room to grow,
That's
and
right.
I'm grateful to be surrounded by some people where I feel like I can do that with.
yeah. Now you've been doing this for what, a couple of years, is my understanding?
No, 1 year.
1 year.
And honestly, in that year, the last time I performed was in August at a benefit for the Maslow Project.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we raised money for the Maslow Project,
a
and
great
then
one,
we
yeah.
called everybody in. It was a huge performance, and then everyone also donated there, and we vended things, and it was a great. It was such a great. I didn't know it was going to be a send-off, but it was a great send-off
Yeah.
to taking a little bit of time off for the winter.
Yeah. Now, beyond the comedy, you are a baker.
That's right.
You own Yes Bakery.
That's right.
In Talent, correct?
That's
Yeah.
right. OYesBakery.com.
Yeah. Now you've been doing that for a while.
Actually, also coming up on a year anniversary.
Really?
Yeah, I started a business, I started a relationship, and I started a career in comedy, all within a month of each other.
Oh wow! So you've been like really busy. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's also why I showed up about 5 minutes before
Yeah.
I put on the mic, because I'm baking and I'm all dressed fancy. I'm about to do a delivery to a fancy party.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Now, Dave was saying you started the bakery because of your daughter.
That's
Is
correct.
Because she has a gluten sensitivity?
She had eczema, or has eczema, I guess I should say, and I probably took her to 3 different providers, and they misdiagnosed her, called all different things, and then they said diet has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Just take this prescription for steroids.
Oh.
And she was 2 at the time, and I'm like, I don't think that's a good thing to do to her liver.
No.
And then a friend said, just try taking out gluten, eggs, and dairy, and add them back in. And so we did it, and it marginally cleared up, but I was also nursing her. And so I had to take it out of my diet. And then it totally cleared up.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was like, but then I would have to always have food on me wherever we went, because I couldn't really find many treats that were organic, gluten-free, and egg-free, and dairy-free. So yeah, I was like, do I really have to do this for all of Southern Oregon? And thankfully I don't. There are so many other wonderful bakers out there. So.
But it's amazing, isn't it, that with all the food products out there that are so based around dairy and eggs and stuff, that it's a really difficult thing to get products that are not involving those ingredients.
So first of all, this has been a magical journey. Like what I have done to gluten-free baking, I feel like you're welcome. You're welcome. I do. Now, I'm not pretty, but I taste good. And I give you the balance you want with bread. So, Anyhow, so that whole journey has been, you know, a whole other tale and wonderful one. But I did find it interesting. Is this the logical thread of like, she's gonna get you clean and then I am the clean food? Is that the like path you're taking us down?
Well, you know, it was just a matter that my previous guest, Bree, is a friend.
Right.
And Erin here is a friend of mine, and she's an actress and an artist, and you know, we've worked together on different film projects.
Exciting.
And so I really, when it comes to like booking on the show, I typically go down my list of friends first to see who's the easiest people I can get on the show first, and then I go down my list of other contacts that I made, right? And we met at the farmers market at Hawthorne Park last summer.
The very last one.
Yeah,
too.
the very last one.
Right before Thanksgiving.
That's right. And so that's where we met, and I just thought your story was like really great.
Oh, thank you.
Everything that you were doing, and I just thought, oh, well, there's like a guest for this show, because this show is about when I get people outside of my friend network, I'm trying to get people in the Valley that are doing really cool, great, unique things, whether it's entrepreneurial or health-oriented or food-oriented. I mean, there's so many people doing really unique things around here.
It's true.
And they all got great stories, and so this is my show to kind of like get those stories out there.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought, you know, God, you're doing the comedy thing, you're doing this the bakery health food thing, and I just thought, boy, that needs to like get that story out there.
I have to say, when there's a mom that has a nonverbal child that had some food allergy testing, and she's at her wit's end, and she just wants to pour her love into her food and give it to her child and not have to buy something. And like, I've made a mix that like now she can make pancakes for her kid.
Yeah.
And like,
That's good.
truly tears like that, like where she's thanking me, you know? It's like, that makes all the hours of sleep I lost preparing this food fresh before market.
I
Makes
actually
it
have a
all worth it.
question about baking. So my son went through about a year where he had a stomach problem and he couldn't eat eggs, he couldn't eat dairy, but I was told he could have quail eggs. Is that an actual, like, it's gentler on the stomach or something, or have you not heard that?
I haven't, but I wouldn't be surprised. The world we live in is so interesting, and there's so many variations of things, so yeah.
So how many quail eggs it takes to equal one regular egg when you're trying to make a chocolate cake where you can't use any sweetener, and so you couldn't use applesauce, we had to use pear sauce instead?
Do you have an apple allergy also?
No, it wasn't an allergy. It was just the diet they prescribed for whatever stomach thing he had. So I was really curious as to what you can kind of work with your gluten-free foods. And
Yeah, I do get people that come to me. That's one of it. I have many more jokes where I sort of make fun of
That was another one of my questions. How often your food comes into your comedy stand-up. I would love to hear about that.
Yeah, it has. And I kind of developed a pretty solid routine, and then I felt guilty because I was always using it. I'm like, I need to be doing better. I need to be doing more. I'm not doing enough, right? So yeah, I do. Yeah, I have some other routines about that. But I was answering your question. I'm sorry.
Diet, comedy, how they work together.
Oh, right. Where I sort of go maybe a little too much into plugging the business and the market, but it also, evolves. And I do get a lot of questions about people's indigestion and what they've experienced and how can I get a lot of too much information gets exchanged. So you want to give us a little bit of space at our
There's
booth.
no such thing.
In this day and age?
Yeah.
Not anymore, no.
It's true. So, that one, I bring that guy in. I actually usually bring him in during the men that hit on me and all the, all their like clever ways they try to come at, how can I talk to this girl?
Huh.
Now, your bakery products are sold. You just sell through the different farmers markets. Is that correct?
I sell at the farmers markets. I also have a wonderful collaboration with Northwest Raw. That's the juice cafe in downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most people don't see the NW part on the leaf. They just see raw. So it's raw. But yeah, I started with a waffle mix there, and they loved it. They loved it was locally sourced. They loved that it was simple. One of the big things is I don't use xanthan gum or any kind of gum. I don't use guar gum, locust bean gum. It's a common filler that people use in gluten-free baking to help try to mimic gluten. Instead, I use grains that are inherently spongy, and so all of them together in my perfect secret blend, you just get exactly what you want in a waffle. And not to mention the nutrient density of the food is astronomical. In 3 ounces of the flour, you're getting 20 grams of protein, 30 grams of fiber, and both flours meet 76% of your daily recommended vitamins, minerals, and nutrients.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really is like, if Creator wanted you to have a donut, it was my $4 donut. So how many of my $4 donuts do you want? We'll be there on Tuesday
Yeah.
in Ashland, Thursday in Medford, Saturday in Grants Pass.
Well, so there's a lot of traveling to all these farmers markets because
Yes,
there's
sir.
like a solid schedule of where these are all at.
Yes, there are. And not to mention, again, with raw, I want to be as fresh as I possibly can, so I'm delivering for them several times a week, their loaves. They came back after the waffles were so successful and asked me to design them a seed bread, and they launched that in the fall. And so they have 2 savory and 2 sweet, but it's like their avocado toast that they make on this bread. And it's fun. Every time I make a delivery, people follow me out and they're like, hey, can I get your number? Can I get your number? Where can I get some of the bread? So, yeah, it's funny. I'm like a dealer now.
A dealer of healthy food products.
I feel good about it. I hold my head up high.
Yeah. I have a friend from days in college. He is, for the last 30-some years, has been a dealer for one of the big pharmaceutical companies. Okay? So he's the only friend of mine that is the only legal drug dealer that I know, right? And we just finally reconnected recently through LinkedIn. So, I had to give him a bad time about still being a drug dealer, after 30 years on the job, But that's I think what you're doing is a really great thing in terms of the products that you're doing. And I looked at your website just the other night, and it looked like you got 3 different mixes. Is that right? How many?
Yeah, I have 2 kinds of all-purpose flour mix.
Yeah.
And so the one with a teff grain is going to come out like a whole wheat, even though there's no wheat. It's gluten-free. There's no wheat, celiac people. It's awesome. But it gives that whole wheat sort of brownish color to it. And then I have a whole wheat or all-purpose flour that is a white flour. It's going to look like your normal all-purpose white flour.
All right.
And what's so magical about those products is that, like I said, you can just use them a cup for cup substitute, and you don't have to add extra wet ingredients. I took all the guesswork out of it. Just use it, and you'll get exactly what you expect to get, and you'll be stoked because it's healthy and and clean in the sense of avoiding your allergies. And then there's a waffle mix.
Right. Okay. Well, that's really a really great thing.
And those are going to be going into grocery stores
Yeah.
soon.
Okay. Cool.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's in the works.
Any particular grocery stores or?
Yeah, well, we already have a relationship with Shopping Cart and the Ashland Food Co-op, and then my food processing friends down at the farmers market. I find out where they're at, so it sounds like Market of Choice, Natural Grocer.
Good.
They love buying local. I hear Food for Less would like to develop a strong local following as well to pull people in to their stores now. So that's exciting.
That is.
And I got to say, I feel like that's very much an Oregon trait, and I love that about this place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I've made it to many of the different farmers markets and craft fair events and stuff to find and make contact with potential guests, which is, and so you're an example of that effort at my end to find, really unique local people doing great things. And so I'm very much happy to have you on the show and get your kind of story out there. And so I thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So,
Thanks,
God, Mike,
nice to meet you,
where are
Tim.
we at in the time?
Looks like we have 6 minutes left.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is a great moment to.
I should have gone longer with my routine.
This is a great moment to get the next message to Garth Brooks in. So if you can bring the message to Garth Brooks up.
What is that?
That is a moment where Garth Brooks has this radio channel on Sirius Network.
Okay.
Right, and he has a weekly theme park show where he puts like a group of 3 songs on a theme idea, and so I give Garth my own idea of songs for his theme park show with the idea that I'm going to try and get connected with him for a Skype interview on the show sometime down the road. That hasn't happened yet. Okay, and this is episode number 18.
Oh, okay.
All right, so. But I keep trying. I just keep plugging away at it. So, all righty. So my next theme park suggestion to Garth is all about Memphis. And so the 3 songs for this theme park idea about Memphis is Pam Tillis, Maybe It Was Memphis, one of my all-time favorite country songs, Cher, Walking in Memphis, and Alana Miles, Black Velvet, because that's all about Memphis and Elvis. So Garth, that's the next theme park suggestion, buddy. And when I get the show downloaded at my end, I'll make a clip and I'll Twitter it to you, and probably be ignored once again. But there's like another 3 or 4 more ideas, and then Garth, I'm going to give you up, and I'm going to start giving messages to probably Jimmy Kimmel or maybe Ellen DeGeneres. I haven't decided yet, but somewhere down the road, one of those 2 celebrities will be getting the next round of messages from me. Okay, so what's the time at now, God, Mike?
4 minutes.
4
I had a
minutes.
feeling that was 2 minutes.
Oh,
Gosh,
wow.
I'm
Yeah, we'll see.
My
This
internal timer.
Yeah. So now, one of the things that I do at the end of an interview is to give my guests an opportunity to either we can have an awkward moment, or you can toot your own horn, and I have some really cheap $1 plastic horns or harmonicas, and we can toot our own horn, or you can win the small cash prize of 100 pennies. Okay, and so this here is a baggie of 100 pennies, and all you've got to do to win the small cash prize is correctly answer a trivia question.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And so
wait, my choice is an awkward moment. Or answer the trivia question?
or
toot your own horn.
toot your own horn.
Or toot my own
and
horn?
so these are like the horns. So you pick your color.
That's very hairy.
Yeah,
I don't think I would put that
we
in my
just
mouth.
we play our horns for a moment, and so that's like our tooting
serious.
our own horn
Put your
moment.
hand up.
Yeah.
Very picky about what I put in my mouth, Dave.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I am. We
Yeah.
already went over the baking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then the option is to win the small cash prize.
Damn, this was
Okay.
boyfriend.
And the trivia question categories tonight are Doctor Who, Harry Potter, or the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yes. This is an
If
involved.
I get it right, can we do another one?
Yeah, sure. Because I do have 2 baggies of 100 pennies here in my box of tricks. So.
All right. I might allow it to stay in the box of tricks for the next lucky gal. But
that happens with a lot of my guests that do this. So, but yeah, so you got the 90s, Harry
okay,
Potter.
I want
or,
the Harry Potter one first. I feel more
Okay.
confident about the Harry Potter than my 90s pop culture
Okay,
references.
all righty. So,
I led a very sheltered life.
okay. So, this is the trivia question for the night. The following question comes to us via Gmail from the show's ancestral home of the Nienow clan in Mapleton, Minnesota. Crater Lake is the 5th oldest national park in the United States and the only national park in Oregon. The lake is 1,949 feet deep at its deepest point, making Crater Lake the deepest lake in the United States and the 9th deepest in the world. Your question tonight is, according to legend, who built the Chamber of Secrets within Hogwarts?
Dave, I can't believe you led me down that.
Yeah, well, this is the way it
Well,
works here on this show.
I have a thing about that. I do. I was just talking about it last night. I was talking about this comedian. I watched his special, and I was explaining to my comedian boyfriend, because I can only date a comedian at this point. And it's funny. It's so strange. We have things where I'm like, honey, I hope a whole room laughs at you. I mean, if you said that in a normal relationship, you'd be, can I swear?
Yeah.
You could be an a-hole. But, in our relationship, it's like the loving, supportive thing to say. Yeah. But Yeah, I was just saying to him last night how this one comedian, I love it because he takes you on he's telling you a story, but he takes you on these ridiculous tangents, but he always brings you back and then he furthers down the story in through his routine, you know, because you watch these comedy specials and you're analyzing them and you're like, that's a callback, okay, got it. You know, and you're enjoying it on many levels, right? And I'm like, and then there are the people who lead you down a path.
That's right, yeah. And this
nothing.
This whole thing is a complete ripoff.
Here you go, Victoria,
between
nothing.
David Letterman and Craig Ferguson. This whole
I
bit.
should have seen it coming.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. So you just have to answer the question, and the question again.
Tom Riddle.
No. The answer was Salazar Slytherin.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to report the cleaning lady is enjoying her vacation with her twin sister still, and is considering a job at the public access station.
Does that mean like 2 minutes?
Oh, great. Okay. Well, you know.
1 minute left, Dave.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's close.
That's like we've
Another
come to
guest,
the
yeah.
end of the show, Road Valley. I want to thank my guest, Victoria Sofitel, for coming on. And I want to thank my wonderful, lovely, beautiful guest sidekick of the night, Erin Rose, for coming on and helping me do the stupid thing I do here at RVTV. So we'll see you next time, Road Valley. The next time the show is going to be live will be on the 29th. So, and I got actress Marlon Mason scheduled for that night. So, yeah, she used to work with Elvis in a couple of movies. So, yeah, she's got a long career in Hollywood. So, yeah. So
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So, I guess that's about it. Although I saw God Mike there kind of telling me to stretch it a bit, but I guess we'll know because see right there, there's my outro file. So, all right, bye, Road Valley.
Bye.